Good morning, students. Welcome to your social science class. Well, students, before this video, I shared with you all another video link to go through. Did you all watch the video? I believe you all have. So, students, if you all have watched that video, then you must surely have come to know that today we have started another chapter, that is understanding our criminal justice system. This chapter is from your civics textbook. So students, that video link was shared so that you all can get some idea regarding the introduction of this chapter. So we are going to introduce ourselves to this chapter with the help of the concept of FIR. Okay, so students, in our today's class, our topics will be significance of FIR, what an FIR is and what is its significance or importance. And the second topic will be introduction to the 4 key players in the criminal justice system. That means we will also be knowing about who are the important persons who are involved in this system of justice, that is known as the criminal justice system. So students, after today's class, you all will be able to define an FIR, and you all will also be able to explain its significance, its importance. Not only that, students, you all will be able to point out or identify the 4 key players in the criminal justice system. So students, if you all have watched the video, the previous video, then I believe you all have come to know what an FIR is. It was a story, right? So that story was based on Ramesh, whose music player goes missing, and Ramesh suspects his gardener to have stolen his music player, and on the advice of one of his friends, he goes to the police station and he files an FIR against the gardener, and where he reports about the incident which took place. Now students, what is an FIR? So FIR, to start with, it stands for First Information Report. So as the name suggests, First Information Report. So FIR includes all the information about the incident. Okay, and this FIR is supposed to be filed. It is actually a complaint which is filed or lodged by the victim or anyone on behalf of the victim. Suppose I am the victim, I can file the FIR by going to the police station, and if I am the victim, anyone on my behalf, one of my friends, one of my family members, can also file the FIR. It is basically a complaint that has to be lodged by the victim or by his or her family members or friends or anyone on his behalf, right? And who writes the FIR? It is the police who writes the FIR. FIR is a written document. It is a complaint which is written by the police, where the victim or anyone, his relative or friends, will narrate the entire incident, when it took place, how it took place, who is the accused person, and the police will write all of that in the FIR. Okay, and students, it is the FIR which which serves as the basis and which helps the police to start investigating the crime. It serves as the basis that helps the police in its investigation process, right? Without an FIR, the police cannot start investigating, because the police needs to have some idea, right? But students, FIR does not entitle police to arrest the accused or the suspect. So what is an accused or suspect? It is the person who is held guilty, the person who is charged with the crime, the suspect or the accused. So students, just by writing an FIR, the police cannot arrest anyone. FIR only entitles the police to investigate the crime, but to arrest someone, the police needs a warrant for non-cognizable offenses. Non-cognizable offenses are those which are not very serious, like theft, stealing, etc. But for cognizable offenses, which are very much heinous and serious, like murder, rape, etc., for such type of offenses, for such type of cognizable offenses, the police can arrest someone. Okay, first the police can arrest someone, and after that the police can start the investigation process. So in case of cognizable offenses, the police can arrest a person without a warrant, and after arresting, the police can start the investigation. But if the case, or if the incident is not very serious, if the crime is not very serious, the police needs to have a warrant to arrest someone. Alright, so this is the concept of FIR. So FIR is basically a written document or a complaint that has to be lodged or filed by the victim or anyone on his behalf. It is to be written by the police. It includes all the details about the incident, and it serves as the basis for the investigation of the crime. And FIR does not entitle the police to arrest anyone. Okay. Now students, come to this story. This is a story which I have taken from your textbook, the State versus Shanti Hemram case 2006. So for better understanding, you all can also follow your textbook. This story is also in your textbook. Okay. So students, it was 18th of July 2006. There was a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Shinde, and they used to live in an apartment in Mumbai. Okay, so one day they were getting ready for a party, and Mrs. Shinde, she realized that her gold chain was not in the place where it was supposed to be. Okay, and she suspected, or she doubted her maid Shanti to have stolen the chain. And when she asked Shanti about it, Shanti refused. She said that, no madam, I have not stolen your chain. But Mrs. Shinde, she did not believe Shanti, and she searched Shanti's trunk, and from the trunk she obtained 10,000 rupees. Okay, but Shanti, in her defense, she said that, madam, this is the money that I and my brother together are saving from the last 1 year in order to buy a bull for our village home. This is not the money that I have obtained by selling your golden chain. But Mrs. Shinde, she thought that Shanti might have sold the chain somewhere, and this is the money that she has obtained after selling the chain. Okay. So students, Mr. and Mrs. Shinde, they decided to file an FIR in the police station against Shanti. So they reported the entire incident in the police station. Okay. Sub-Inspector Rao, the policeman, the first key player, he wrote the statements, whatever statements or whatever explanation was given by Mr. and Mrs. Shinde, and then he sealed the envelope. That means the police took away the envelope where that 10,000 rupees was kept, and that envelope was kept as an evidence or proof by the police, and based on that evidence, the police arrested Shanti. Okay. Next day, her brother arrived, and he requested the police to release Shanti, but the police refused, and they said that he has to bring a bail order if he wants his sister to get released. Now students, what is the bail order? It is an order which is given by the court, and without a bail order, the police is not supposed to release anyone. The police will release the accused person only if the police has obtained a bail order. The court needs to provide a bail order. Without a bail order, you cannot force the police to release someone, right? The police did not release Shanti. Forget about releasing Shanti. The police, in fact, they put Shanti's brother Sushil under the lockup for 2 days. They beat him up, and they also tried to forcibly made him confess that Sushil and his sister together run a gang of domestic servants, and it is the same gang who had stolen many jewelries from many of the houses. But since Sushil kept on repeating his innocence, the police after 2 days let him go. But Shanti was still in the jail. So students, it was 23rd of August 2007, after 1 month. That means 1 month had passed. So after 1 month, the court granted bail order to Shanti. That means the bail was given by the court, but in order to take the bail, Shanti required someone who would pay 20,000 rupees to the court. But since Shanti was very poor, and so was her brother, they were both very poor, they could not afford to give 20,000 rupees, and they could not find any person who could give 20,000 rupees on their behalf. So there was no option. Shanti continued to be in jail. She started worrying what will happen in the trial. She was in the jail only on the basis of a doubt. Her crime was not proved, right? She also lost the money that she had been saving for such a long time. So students, 14 September 2006 it was. 2 months had passed. So after 2 months, after doing all the investigation, the police filed a charge sheet in the magistrate's court. Charge sheet means it includes all the informations regarding what the police have collected from its investigation, all the evidences, all the materials, all the witnesses, whatever the police have gathered, whatever information the police have collected, all such things are put together in the charge sheet. So it was submitted in the magistrate's court by the police after 2 months. And the court, it also gave a copy of the charge sheet along with the statements of the witnesses to Shanti. Now it was time for Shanti to find a lawyer who can defend her in the court. Okay, but since Shanti was very poor, she could not afford to hire a lawyer, because we all know that hiring a lawyer is a very costly affair. You need to pay a huge sum of money. Okay, and Shanti could not afford to pay such huge sum of money. So it was the magistrate who appointed advocate Kamala Roy as Shanti's defense lawyer. So here comes another player, the defense lawyer. So students, why do you think the magistrate appointed one lawyer for Shanti? Because students, according to our Indian constitution, as per the article 39A, if someone is poor and cannot afford to hire a lawyer, it is the duty of the state to provide one lawyer to that person. So according to this article, the magistrate was bound to provide one lawyer to Shanti. So defense lawyer Kamala Roy was hired for Shanti. She was supposed to fight the case on behalf of Shanti. She was entrusted with the responsibility of proving Shanti innocent in the court. So students, it was 11 December 2006. 4 months had already passed. Okay, so after 4 months, after going through all the evidences and all the materials and all the witnesses, the court framed the charge of theft against Shanti. Okay, but since Shanti kept on repeating her innocence, she kept on repeating that she was not guilty, the magistrate, it ordered for a trial. Trial means a fair trial in the court where both the parties will fight for justice, and one party will win the case. And it will depend on the evidences that they are providing. It will depend on the statements of the witnesses. Okay, so students, 8 months passed. It was 8th of March 2007. The case started in 2006 and it was 2007. So students, the trial starts. The public prosecutor appears in the case on behalf of the state. Another key player, the public prosecutor. So students, just like the defense lawyer fights the case on behalf of the accused person, the public prosecutor fights the case on behalf of the party who has filed the FIR. So in this case, the public prosecutor would be fighting the case on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Shinde. So students, the public prosecutor, he inquired about the case to Mrs. Shinde, who was the prosecution witness. Okay, and after that, advocate Kamala Roy, the defense lawyer, also cross-examined. That means she also questioned Mrs. Shinde, and after questioning Mrs. Shinde, she admitted that she did not see Shanti stealing the chain on her own. Okay, also in the 3 years that Shanti had been working in their house, nothing had ever gone missing. Okay, and she even admitted that they used to pay rupees 1000 to Shanti as salary every month, right? That means Shanti was in a position to save money, right? So students, advocate Roy, she also inquired Sushil, Shanti's brother, and his employer, the place where he used to work, his boss, and was able to prove that the rupees 10,000 which was obtained from Shanti's trunk, it was actually not the money which they had obtained from selling the chain, but it was the money which they have saved from their own earnings, because since they were earning, right, so it could very well be the savings of Shanti and Sushil. That means they have not stolen the chain. So students, 10 months passed, 14 May 2007 it was. As the trial was nearing completion, another policeman, Inspector Sharma, he came into play. Meanwhile, he arrested a gang of young men who had been stealing jewelry from many of the places, or you can say from many of the houses in the neighborhood of Mrs. Shinde. Okay, and when the police searched, the police obtained Mrs. Shinde's gold chain from that gang. Okay, so Inspector Sharma was also called in the court as defense witness. That means defense lawyer Kamala Roy also bought Inspector Sharma to give his statement in the court that the chain was obtained from that gang. It means Shanti and her brother, they were innocent. So students, 1 year had passed. 15 July 2007 it was. After hearing all the witnesses, after hearing after going through all the evidences, it was decided by the judge, or the final verdict was given, that Shanti was innocent, her brother was innocent, and that they should be released. Her brother was already released. It was the verdict was given by the judge that Shanti should be released from jail. She should be acquitted. Okay. Also, he ordered the police, the judge ordered the police to hand over rupees 10,000 to Shanti that they had seized from her. Okay, and the judge also acknowledged the wrong investigation which was done by S.I. Rao. It was S.I. Rao who investigated the case in a wrong manner and who gave a different turn to the case. Had it not been S.I. Rao, Shanti's innocence could easily have been proven, right? But it was S.I. Rao who twisted the entire case in a negative way. So students, from this entire incident, we have come to identify the 4 key players in the criminal justice system. The first is the police. In this particular case, it was S.I. Rao and Inspector Sharma. The public prosecutor, that is the lawyer who fights the case on behalf of the party who files the FIR. Okay. Defense lawyer means the lawyer who fights the case on behalf of the accused person or on behalf of the suspect, and the judge who gives the final verdict. So students, these are the keywords which we have learned today. FIR, first information report. Accused means the person who is held guilty. Public prosecutor, the lawyer who fights the case on behalf of the party who files the FIR. And defense lawyer means the lawyer who defends the accused person, right? So students, these are your homework questions for today's class. Suppose someone snatched away your father's mobile phone while he was returning from office. As a responsible child, what would you suggest your father to do in the very beginning? So what your father should do, just a 1-mark question. So you just need to write a short sentence, okay? Then the second question, the public prosecutor is entrusted with the responsibility of presenting the case in support of the accused person. You need to correct the statement. There is something wrong in the statement and you need to correct it, okay? And the third question is, you need to write what do you mean by criminal justice system, alright? So students, you need to submit your homework in Google Classroom today itself in between 8 to 9 p.m. And if you have any difficulty, please ask me. Okay? Thank you so much, students. See you all in the next class. Have a nice day.